Next question.
Bad robot. All right. My question is obviously for JJ. With Lost, just the way that it ended, was it everything that you expected from the beginning? Without giving anything away, obviously, with spiritually, science-wise, everything. I mean, was it everything? Now looking back on it, is it what you wanted? And it's awesome, by the way. I loved it.
Thank you very much, and awesome impersonation at the outset. First of all, Damon Lindelof, with whom I created the show, and Carlton Cuse ran the show for the 6 seasons, and it was an amazing thing when we first started. Before Carlton was even there, it was like, Damon and I were in this sort of crazy panic, and we wrote this Bible of what it would be, and we wrote a whole bunch of ideas, and you sort of throw out the best ideas, and it's very optimistic, it's a huge leap of faith, and you think this is what this show could be. And a lot of those things ended up being in the series, most of them did not. And over the course of time, thank God Carlton came on board, started to work, with Damon. The two of them I can't describe how brilliant they are. They and the other writers and directors, Jack Bender, they all started working on making this thing what it became. There were ideas that I know in the first season we thought, this will be cool, and this is what it will mean, but you must be fluid and flexible. And even if you have the time to write every episode of every season for 6 seasons, you'd be doing yourself a disservice, because you would not anticipate, and could not, Michael Emerson coming on board for what was supposed to be a couple episodes, and you just realize, oh my God, Ben is critical to the story, as Damon and Carlton did, and wrote to it. So you have to be sort of dogmatic and know what you want to do, but you also need to be entirely flexible and listen to the show and go where it tells you. And I personally, even though I know there are a lot of people who have dissenting opinions, I personally believe that Damon and Carlton kicked incredible ass and wrote an amazingly emotional episode for the finale that wrapped it up very well.
Next question.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the audience for actually giving us content that makes us think and challenges us. My question is, did either of you get to keep any paraphernalia from your movies and series, specifically any Rambaldi artifacts?
It's from Alias, Joss. It's a show. It was on ABC. For 5 seasons. Glorious, 5 glorious seasons. I have page 47. I have a bunch of the box. I have the Rambaldi box. I have a bunch of cool Rambaldi things, and I was lucky from Star Trek to get some phasers and cool gear, and Mission Impossible, the mask machine. So I do love that stuff. I don't hoard it and want to be a scary person that's on the show Hoarders. Have you seen Hoarders, by the way? Holy shit, how can that be a show? How many hoarders? It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm scared of becoming a hoarder.
No. None of Rambaldi stuff. It's weird. I ordered some online and it didn't come. I do have all the props and costumes from Dr. Horrible, which I was planning to sell at some point to help fund the next one. I don't get terribly attached to things or people.
Next question.
Yes, my question is Joss Whedon. Wow, big echo. You are taking on the Avengers movie that has an established tone, an established backstory and mythology, and you have one of the most unique voices in Hollywood yourself. So how are you going to reconcile those two sort of established styles?
They're all going to sound like me. No problem. The fact is, the first job I had outside of television was a script doctor. And what you have to do in that situation is blend in. I also, a lot of the way that I speak and write comes from reading these comics. I think it's very, very easy to fall into the aesthetic of something that you love. Obviously, I'm going to bring some of myself to it. I'm an artist who wishes to create something that comes from within, but at the same time, yes, they do have an established tone. I'm going to be very respectful of that. I'm going to try and find ways to work. The thing is, they not only have an established tone, they have about 7. Because I'm culling things from, all these different movies. I have to blend all of that. I think ultimately that would result in something unique anyway. So I think that doesn't really seem like a challenge to me at all. When I write Tony Stark or Steve Rogers or any of these people, they sound like them, particularly because I already know who's playing them.
Very much.
Okay, can you hear me now? Good. Okay, I have kind of a general question about comic books. Last few decades, they've really swung back and forth between light and silly and dark and gritty, while these days it's kind of balanced. Do you see that pendulum starting to swing back and forth in the future, or do you think they'll stay balanced for the time being?
Wait, are they light and gritty now, or are they dark? Which one are they now?
Well, there's elements of both. They're more dark, but the lighted stuff is starting to come back.
I will only say this, that I do feel like there was an element of nihilism that started to eat itself, where things got so dark that they couldn't maintain, except for some reason that I still can't quite understand, The Walking Dead, which never gets old, never gets tired, just the best book. But I did feel like, even in some of the mainstream comics, they were getting really cavalier about killing lots of people and everybody dark, and I think ultimately that does have to swing back a little bit too. They are heroes, right? They're a better version of us. That's in some way. That's mainstream. I don't. The indies. I don't know if Chris Ware has gotten too gritty lately. Gritty, but very, very clean. Yes. Very clean lines.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, next question.
Hi guys, I was wondering what you thought about film school. Do you think it's worth the time and the money, or do you think you should just go your own way?
Just go your own way. Do film school.
I think that now, given the technology that exists, the resources, the fact that you can watch movies and then make them sort of at home all day, it feels like there's less of a need for it. But it's certainly nice. The best thing about it is the community that you develop. I think being at a film school, having said that, I did not go to one. So I personally feel like, my father gave me advice when I was going off to college, which was go learn what to make movies about, not how to make movies. And it was sort of the best advice I ever got.
Where did you get that father? My dad just said, "Don't be a writer. It's too much work." He said many very sage things. I just want to say I did go to film school, or studied undergraduate, and I happened to study with the greatest teachers imaginable. It's kind of a crapshoot, though. It's very easy to, like drama or any other creative subject, have just one teacher who can suck the joy out of the medium forever. So it's dicey, and I think what I remember about it was not just what I learned in film school, but the fact that it was in me all the time, that after a day of watching movies all day, which we couldn't do then, there was no home video back when I was a lad and hamburgers were a nickel. I would go home and watch, Beastmaster at 3 o'clock in the morning because I just